number 5. Alright, so this problem, I'm going to show how I can, you don't always have to take this top number and sub it into the bottom one. You're going to get the same answer because I know that y equals negative 2x and y equals negative 4x plus 2. So what I can do is I can take this negative 2 because that's what y equals, and I can sub it in for y. So I'm going to work this one out this way just to prove that you're going to get the same answer no matter what. So I'm going to rewrite this, what this equation would look like. It's going to look like negative 2x equals negative 4x plus 2. See, that was I kind of subbed up into y like that, and then use the rest of this equation right here. So now I'm just going to solve this equation. I'm pick a variable side and a number side. Negative 2x and negative 4x. Technically, this this side over here has more variables, even though they're both negative. This one has a greater amount of variables. But it doesn't matter which side you pick as a variable side. So this is my number side. I need to get rid of that negative 4x, so I'm going to add 4x's. I'm going to add 4x's over here. And a positive 4x and a negative 2x is going to give you a positive 2x. You got to think back to 7th grade on how you would do that. And then all that's left over here is a 2. So now I'm going to divide this side by 2 to get the variable by itself, and divide this side by 2, and I'm left with x equals 1. So that was pretty quick. Alright, so now I'm going to, I can use either one of these equations to find out what y equals now that I know that x is 1. So I've been using this top one, but for this example I'm going to prove that I can get the correct answer using the bottom one just as easy. So I'm going to first write the equation out, y equals negative 2x, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1 and I'm going to sub it in for x, and my equation will look like this. Y equals negative 2 times 1, because that's what x equals. So now whenever I solve this, I have a negative 2 times 1, so y equals negative 2. So whenever I'm writing my coordinate pair, my answers, I've got x equals 1 and y equals negative 2. Number 6. Alright, so now I've got, this is slope-intercept form, and this one's in what's called standard form, but you still work it out the exact same way. I know that y equals all of this stuff right here. I'm going to do that in a different color. Stay a little consistent here. Alright, y equals all of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sub all that stuff in for y, and it's going to make a bigger equation. And let's see what it looks like whenever I write this out. So I've got negative 4x plus 2. Now I'm going to sub in all that stuff. Negative x minus 2. See, I subbed it in for y, equals 2. So notice that everything stayed the same except for I took out that y right there and I put all this stuff in for y because that's what y equals. So now you've really got to think back to 7th grade because we got to use distributive property, and that means that I multiply what's on the outside of the parentheses times everything inside the parentheses. So a positive 2 times a negative x is going to give you a negative 2x, and a positive 2 times a negative 2 is a negative 4. And then don't forget to bring down this negative 4x. We just can't leave them off, and we got to bring down the equals 2. Alright, now we've got this long equation that we need to solve, and you can pick a variable side and a number side, and it doesn't really matter which is which. So I'm just going to say this is my variable side and this is my number side. Alright, these are what's called like terms. Okay, they're both x's, so I can combine those. So a negative 4x and negative 2x is a negative 6x. That's a 7th grade standard that you guys learned about combining like terms. And then, so now my equation looks like this. Well, I want this negative 4 to go away, so I have all my x's together. So I'm going to add 4 on both sides, because that's the inverse of subtracting 4. And I have negative 6x equals 6. And now, I want to get rid of this negative 6. Well, that negative 6 is multiplying times x, and I know that because they're right next to each other. So the opposite of multiplying a negative x is dividing a negative. I'm sorry, the opposite of multiplying a negative 6 is dividing a negative 6. So I divide by both sides by negative 6, and I'm left with x equals negative 1, because when you divide a positive and a negative, you get a negative answer. Alright, so here we go. X equals negative 1 after all that work. So now I get to pick either one of these I want. This one right here looks a lot more friendly than this one down here. I mean, it doesn't matter. You'll get the right answer no matter what. So I'm going to use this top one to find out what y equals. So y equals negative x minus 2. Y equals negative, I'm about to sub in for x, minus 2. And if you're wondering what I'm going to sub in, well, I know that x equals negative 1. So I'm going to take that negative 1 and put it in for x. So it's going to look like this. Alright? So now, when I solve this equation, a negative times a negative, because you have to multiply those, that is going to give you a positive 1. Don't forget your minus 2 here at the end. So y equals a positive 1 and a negative 2. That's going to equal a negative 1. So my final answer is x equals negative 1. See from over here. And y equals also negative 1. Okay, there you go. X is negative 1, y is negative 1.